tonight's comedian comes all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. He's on a 4-month road tour, and he's done comedy in 46 states so far, 4 countries, and this is his something like 856th appearance, something like that. He's been doing comedy for 5.5 years. So I want you to please put your hands together for retired school teacher, comedian, Arizona Lou! Hi, I'm Arizona Lou. I like you guys. If you like what you see tonight, tell your friends. I'll be here next Tuesday doing this. And if you don't like what you see, tell your mother-in-law. I want to thank you for. I want to thank you for letting an old guy up here. You ask how old? How old? 77. You see, in comedy we call that a sympathy applause. Yep. I'm so old, I was born in MCMXLI. I see you're trying to figure out, at least you know it's Roman numerals. Yeah. I always have to explain it to people from New Jersey. Anybody here from New Jersey? Oh, thank goodness. When I was a kid, that's all we had. Not New Jersey, the Roman numerals. And every time I'd dial a number, I'd get Roman charges. And can I delve into some adult type material as long as we don't have kids here?
Oh yeah.
Is that all right with? Yeah. Okay, if it's all right with everybody, I don't. Okay. Back then we had a whole different meaning for XXX. You're not laughing.
I'm waiting.
Looks like you need to watch some of you need to watch a little less porn. And you need to watch a little more Sesame Street. Well, I'm to the awkward age where I worry about what's going to come off next. And I'm not even Kaylin. It's yep, if I'm lucky, if I just hope I don't fall asleep tonight, which is unlikely with you guys. You're so awesome. I want you to come and spice up my funeral. Too late. It was Thursday. If I'm lucky, I remember what I want to say tonight. You know, us old guys. And if you're lucky, I'll forget. Or maybe wander off somewhere. Silver alert, silver alert. But I could be famous. You know the electronic signs? That's a good use for them. But why don't they shut them off when they have nothing to say? Expect stupid stuff to distract. They say, caution, caution, caution. Why do they turn it on if we shouldn't be cautious about something? And by the time to say the next screen what you should be cautious about, you're past the sign, so all you know is I should be careful about something, but don't know what it is. I just hope I don't wander off to Chicago. Did you see the latest news? Shootings there are up over last year. A lot. Well, murders are up too, but not as much. Evidently, they need to take more gun classes. I did comedy in the new murder capital of the U.S., St. Louis, and I was disappointed. I didn't pick up any bullet holes. I flew to Miami to do comedy, basic economy. Let's hear it by applause if you've ever flown basic economy.
Oh, yes.
Well, let me explain it to you three rich people. Basic economy is where you're last to get on the airplane. After the standbys, after the homeless. And then when you get on, all the overhead bin space is gone with the wind. I need to explain to you young people, that's an old movie with Scarlett and Brett in it. And then they gave me a little narrow middle seat, which is okay with me because I have a little narrow middle butt. That wasn't the case with the guy next to me. He was generously proportioned. He hardly even needed to use a seat belt. He was wedged in so tight he wasn't going anywhere, well, except to Miami. I make up for my waning physical prowess with my superior senior stupidity. Senior and stupid. Does that remind you of Congress? Well, I'm not saying, I grew up as kind of a disadvantaged child. I was the middle child. Second of three boys. You too, all right. I was the second of three boys. Last year, though, I was promoted. Now, I'm the oldest. we
Oh my God!
You're still the middle, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awaiting the promotion.
We might be able to make an arrangement here. Well, Stanley lived in Hutchinson, Kansas, and that's where we lost him. Never did find him. Guess he forgot to click his heels together. Oh, I need to explain for you millennials. That's from oh yeah, thank you for doing that. Well, he was into supplements. He took about 32 a day. And now he has the healthiest prostate of anybody in the Greenwood Cemetery. You guys sure like dark stuff. Well, he was a real estate mogul. Well, if you count a dilapidated duplex that was still standing just because the right half was leaning against the left half. Anybody here into rentals? Have any rental properties?
What was it?
Sort of.
Oh, sort of, okay. Anybody here rent?
Oh yeah.
No. All right. Well, Stanley let Billy move in rent-free in exchange for fixing up the place.
Oh God.
Yeah, well, you know how that went. Billy moved in with a carload of cockroaches. Actually, that's not true. It was worse. He moved in Dawn, his girlfriend. Oh, I think that's what it was, although it was hard to tell under all those tattoos. They were so wrinkled. No wonder she was a chain smoker. Has anybody here smoked any chains?
I can't.
But she had a winning smile, if you count 3 teeth. But they were good for holding her cigarettes. She could puff her way right through a Kansas tornado. Her pride and joy was not her big screen TV she had blaring all the time. It was the long extension cord she used to plug it into the neighbors. She moved in 2 dogs. They barked like they were going to bite my head off. I wasn't sure which head. And the little one she called Sledge, that was short for Sledgehammer. The big one she called Maggie, That was short for 357 Magnum. But Dawn was fancy. She had a curved shower rod attached to the outside of the house because nothing worked inside. So her daughter could use the garden hose. I learned a lot about white trash. Of course, I don't have a whole lot of room to talk. If you've noticed my van, I have red and black wires hanging out from under the hood. That's how I start my van. The white trash way. I need a drink of water. I got lost here. Seniors tend to forget stuff and get lost. I got lost here with my GPS. Anybody know what that is? You do? I forgot.
That's
What-
what GPS is for.
For some people, it's God provides stuff. I'm not sure anybody in this is in that department here. But for your children, it might be grandpa's super, or in my case, maybe geezer plain and stupid. Yeah, you know, every generation has had stupid people. Yep, when I was a kid, we didn't have the Kardashians. We had the crazy mountain man. Hey, I climbed this mountain during a thunderstorm and talked to God and brought down these 2 rocks. And you people were so disgusting, I smashed them, and they were important. I don't know how they could have been important. They didn't say anything about the Outer Banks. Anybody know who that was?
Moses.
Yes, hey, you're right. You must have gone to Sunday school. Well, that wasn't the worst of what he did. I gave him directions. He didn't pay attention, and he wandered around, went out to the desert, got lost, and wandered around for 40 years. And the worst part of it is, he talked a whole bunch of people into following him the entire time. I would have said after about 3 months, I would have said, hey, forget you, guy. I want my kids to graduate from the same high school. But he wasn't as bad as the guy that got lost 4 times on the wrong continent. He went to Genoa University, didn't pay attention when he was in school, never could hold a heading. He said, hey, I'm going to go discover some stuff. They said, okay, here's some ships and money, go do it. He did. He got lost, came back, said where he thought he went, they believed him and sent him to do it 2 more, 3 more times. You know who that was?
Columbus?
Yes, that was our Columbus. Never could hold a heading. Couldn't navigate by the stars, then he had trouble with his OnStar. The holding, you know, your parents used to say, at least my parents, Mom would say, hey, Louis, hold your horses. You acknowledge that. Now, that was a little bit before your time. But then during the 70s, it was cool your jets. What do they say now?
Chill out.
Chill out. Take a chill pill. Slow your roll. Don't have a rack attack. Oh, let me interpret that for you people. That's calm your tits. Or if you go to Hawaii, hakuna your tatas. Somewhere between the horses and the jets, it was hold the phone. Now, I need to explain to you young people, there was only one because it was fastened to the house with a wire. Now it means something entirely different. It means, hey, here's my phone, watch my video. Oh, don't hold it like that. You might send it to Telephone Neverland. Don't hold it by the edge. It might explode. So you have to cradle it on the palm of your hand. How many have done that and dropped it and broken their screen? Anybody? Oh, you people need to watch a little more porn. I knew that. Well, there's other ways to hold things. There's the way I held my first grandchild. Any grandparents here? Let's hear by applause. Anybody?
My applause.
No, that's all right. You're good. You're sharp. I was going to explain to you that. Where are you from?
Cleveland, Ohio.
I've done comedy there. Yes. I need to explain to you that an applause, like he said, takes two hands and makes noise. This isn't an applause, but that's okay. You're from Cleveland. When you get back home, please explain that to the rest of the people back in Cleveland.
Okay.
But what was I talking about before I got distracted?
Grandparents.
Grandparents, yes. There's other ways to hold kids. Like, this one leaks. Or, here, Mommy, stinky baby. Or when they get a little older, you can hold them this way. I hate ceiling fans. Last week I lost 2. But this is my first show this year here, and I am so excited. I'm about to pee in my pants. Or did I? I forgot. Only the front row will know for sure. Like they say in SeaWorld, ladies and gentlemen, during tonight's performance, the front row may get splashed.
10 rows.
Hiding back there with your camera. You're smarter than we thought you were. Also, you people up there, you're high and dry. Well, I have t-shirts. I have your size, although this isn't. I can't sell anything out here. I have to respect the Parks Department. But if you want a t-shirt, the Kid Out Kite store in North Avon, just about the last thing on the left as you go out of town, they have all my sizes. They also have some stuff. They have these USB fobs. And this is something you've never seen before. This is a little flip-out USB thing.
How cool is that?
And these are all the shows that are on it. It's over an hour of my best comedy shows, and everything's going to be $10. They also have these up there. So if you want to, you can get one of
Part
these.
of your best comedy shows?
What's that?
Yeah.
Will this one be best of your best comedy shows?
I don't know. I have.
We're
it'll
not
be close.
worthy.
I have a 52-minute show that was here on the Outer Banks. That was similar to this one. I think about the same number of people, and they were good. Not as good as you, of course. But anyway, if you want these, all profits go to a charity that helps senior citizens. No, it's not me. and more information is up there about the charity, also on my website. Of course, my website's arizonalou.com.
You don't sell those out of your van?
I do, but I can't here. I have them on hand in my van,
We'll
yes.
go across the street.
Yes, or out on the highway. Yeah.
Everybody else! We won't look!
But she's taking camera evidence of it. Yeah, I got it here. Anyway, if you get one of these t-shirts, depending on how my comedy career goes, after 5 years, you might have something worth $12. Or you might have something good for wiping your dipstick. Or stinky baby. I do have these t-shirts. At my age, there's some things I still don't understand. I got a new TV. Why do they make the backs of those all black? It's dark as midnight back there. And when I'm ready to plug in my equipment, it's like plugging my hard pin into a black hole. And then when you get the wrong hole, you say, I meant to do it that way. Some people aim for the wrong hole because they like it that way. This is what I call the PG-16 portion of the show. Also, I don't understand. I got a Sony computer, and the keyboard randomly leaves out and duplicates letters. And I wrote in my blog excitedly that I was at the Dominican Republic. It left out the L, and I called it the Dominican Republic. So much for my reputation. Like I had one after that stinky baby gone. I told my daughter, hey, I just got booked for 3 minutes at Hatteras showroom. Sorry about Hatteras, Dad. I read the email, it left out the K, and I'd written, I just got booed for 3 minutes. And I have a Kindle. Anybody here have a Kindle or electronic reader of any sort? I got a book for my Kindle, and I don't understand when I bought a book for it why they call it the hardcover edition. How can that be when there's no cover? And how can it be hard when the book's software? Nothing about this body gets hard. Ever. And that's not a good one. Well, maybe one thing in the mornings. It gets real hard getting out of bed. I just sort of roll out onto the floor. Oh! Will you hang on to that so that the wind doesn't blow it away? Thank you. I don't understand why science doesn't make something a little bit more useful. They figured out a way to make 5-ounce bars of soap look like 7-ounce bars. But why don't they apply that to something useful, like condoms? A small chuckle's good. Some people are too embarrassed to laugh out loud. That wouldn't help me much. How about jockey shorts? I'll be right back. Checking out the jockey shorts. I hope you enjoyed your intermission.
Oh, yeah.
I'm holding something. It's I don't believe it. It's hard. About 6 inches long. It's red on the tip. Don't shake your head. I know it's red on the tip. It's what's inside it that gives it its functionality. It's I can spin it around.
Oh my!
I'm so talented. I can hold it and at the same time blow it. Depending on who asks, I might let one of you blow it. This isn't dirty. It's clean. I washed it and scrubbed it today. Lots. Let's hear it by applause if you want me to pull it out of my pants right now.
Yay!
Let's hear it by applause if you don't want to see it. You didn't applaud either time. I know this is a tough decision.
Harmonica.
Well, if you don't want to see it, hide your eyes on 3. 1, 2, 3. You're peeking. This is an anemometer.
Oh my God.
The spinning magnets register the wind on your phone. It's good for kiteboarding, sailing, stand-up comedy. You want to blow it? I won't tell anybody what you just did.
That was good for me.
Is it good for you?
Give, yes. Give her a hand. Yeah. Now, when you have, do you have any kids?
No.
No. Okay. If you have kids, you and your grandkids, you'll tell your grandkids, "Hey, I remember." Oh, and your mouth will be crooked too. I remember when we had cars with special seats, and you had to have a picture on a piece of plastic to sit in the seat, and you had a big wheel in front of you. You had to aim the car where you wanted it to go, and you had to know how to get there. We called it a steering wheel and driver's seat. Of course, the next car I get is going to be self-driving, I hope. Yeah, I have an old one. I won't waste your time on that, but that's my home away from home. And well, let's hear it by applause if you are over 45. Okay, keep it going if you've had a colonoscopy. Yeah, all right. Now, when you get that ripe old age, get one because they save lives. And it'll keep your mother-in-law from celebrating your funeral early. I had my first colonoscopy. I decided, no, not my last colonoscopy, because you reach a certain age and they decide that you're too far to gone anyway, it doesn't matter. I decided to do it after some research without an anesthetic. Without anesthesia.
Oh.
Yeah. Most people who did said they would do it again, and I would do it again that way. And so there I drove myself to the, well, it helped too, because my sister-in-law, who was supposed to take me there, forgot and was driving on her way to Las Vegas. So I didn't have a ride, but I wanted to do it that way anyway. So there I lay on the table, looking at the big screens. I had never seen my butt on a big screen before, in high def. I did proper prepping for it though. In addition to the regular prepping, I kind of loosened things up a little with the butt plug for the doctor. I don't know if he noticed, I hope he appreciated it. And his probe, as you people know, you can explain this to him when he gets back. His probe is like a remote control snake. And picture a little tiny train going through a tunnel with a headlight, a camera, a garden hose, a shop vac, and an air compressor to pump up around the tight corners. And he found one little polyp, wouldn't have found it otherwise. It was like plucking a mushroom. Bing! Took care of it. Some will never cause cancer now. Wouldn't have been detected any other way. So after it was all over, he said, "I've kind of pumped you full of gas, so you can go ahead and pass it now." I was surprised. I couldn't do it. And usually in that area, I'm so talented. Also, in the kind of health department, I'm part of a clinical study sponsored by Stanford University about posture and back pain. And it's at the Egoscue Clinic in Phoenix. Now, Egoscue, doesn't that sound like someone invented a new STD? Well, Carson got down in front of me, examined my pelvis real carefully, with his mouth closed. And said, "Lewis, your right hip is lower than your left hip." Well, I can take care of that. Oh, and Lewis, you don't have the correct curve in your spine. Well, I can take care of that too. And Lewis, your left butt cheek doesn't stick out as far as your right butt cheek. No problem. And Lewis, your shoulders are round. You need to have your shoulders back more. I can take care of everything. What's wrong with that guy? I don't know, but he sure has good posture. I went to the gym. Where's Jim? Oh, there she is. Yeah. Let's give a hand for the gym. They just opened a new gym. She'll probably be happy to tell you about it.
Not right now, though.
I don't want to
hijack the act because it's an act all into itself.
It's a neat little gym, and probably it'll surpass my T-shirts. What's that?
It's a gym next to a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a concept now, I think. We'll see.
Cool.
We'll see how it goes.
Cool. Good luck with that. Anyway, I went to the gym, and I have 3 rules of the gym. Now, you remember these and pass them on. Rule number 1. Oh, I hate to use the F word here. Fat always comes off last where you want it off the most. For me, it's right down here by the microphone stand. Rule number 2, don't die.
Yeah, please don't.
I told you guys were morbid. Unless it's Sunday or convenient. Rule number 3, forget the gym. Take a big bowl of chips to the couch and binge watch 50 Shades of Barney Fife. Oh, unless you're into hot chicks. Then the Golden Girls. They're not for me, they're too young. But when I went to the gym, I went to the free weights, and you know, I've had to quit doing big weights, like 2 hours at the DMV. You've been there, haven't you?
Yep.
And I've had to quit doing bench presses because they bolted them all down. I can tell, sir, you haven't pressed any benches. Well, I had a terrible time getting the 45-pound dumbbells home. Put one of those in my, the free ones? Put one of those, she's going to watch me next time I go to the gym. Put one of those in my gym bag, I'd be so unbalanced. My ex would say, Lou, yeah, Lou, you've always been unbalanced. I thought about putting one in each hand. Then I'd be balanced, but I couldn't run. And wouldn't it look suspicious leaving the gym with 2 gym bags? Also stopped by Food Lion on the way. I don't park close to the door. That way I can stir up my tired blood as I run in for a few things. I try to be healthy, try to eat right. I got a hold of some string beans that were so stringy, by the time I finished eating them, I'd already flossed my teeth. And I don't know what this hip movement has to do with it. Well, I ran in for a few things, and running back to my van, the kid said, "Hey, how come you're running so fast?" "Well, you would be too, son, if you've been shoplifting." String beans. Well, I recognize the equipment from when I was a kid during the Spanish Inquisition. I see you're a historian. You know that was 650. I need to explain to you. That was 650 years
A long
ago.
time ago.
All they did is added new foam pads and logos. But when I was a kid, if we wanted some agony, we'd say, "Yeah, I'm going to go down to the dungeon and visit the Inquisitor." Or you guys do strange things. You say, "I'm going to go down, that might be a new word for some of you, but I'm going to go down the street and visit my chiropractor or my personal trainer." Well, for some of you, that might be a new word, but it's not funny either. And have you ever noticed back there that the Inquisitor would put body in impossible positions? Back then we called it Inquisition. You guys call it torture or yoga. Also, have you noticed in the pictures back then that the naked subject on the rack always had a little white cloth covering just the right spot? I was the towel boy. "Hey, I've got the towel here. Don't stretch him out yet." You're shaking your head. You know about that, huh? Let's hear it by applause if you want me to do it. All right, it's your fault. His arms are all stretched out. He couldn't do it himself. I was his high point. Oh, I forgot he was black. You people are a lot of fun. I do want to live a long time. On my 100th birthday, I plan to still be in the game, although I won't know what game or the score. But you can bet I'll still be on the bottom. No, not that way. As will the Cleveland Browns.
Not anymore.
Oh, that's right. They're pulling out a little.
Oh, yeah.
Who else shall I pick on?
Steelers.
Steelers.
This guy's truck.
Yeah.
Make fun of his truck.
Well, 33 days after that birthday, I'm going to be with you guys bringing in the new year, 2042. All it'll just take from me is about 160 million heartbeats. Yeah, a billion heartbeats for you young people if you forget to pull out. Or for you old people if you forget your yoga and devotions. Well, there's some other things I was going to say, but there's a couple things that are a lot of fun that are fairly adult. Would you like them, or would you like the other things? How many want the adult things, fairly adult things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, adult.
I'm so old, I know how to drive a stick shift.
Oh, that's old.
Let's hear it by applause if anybody else can. All right, I'm not talking about a boner. But while we're on the subject, I volunteered for a clinical study of Viagra in Virginia at the University of Longwood. It was helping out with science gave me a really good feeling. But I expected it to be a lot harder. It was one of those double-blind studies. Even the researchers didn't know who was coming. They put us in hospital gowns, and we looked like Sheriff Joe's tent city. I was the only one without a rigid tent pole. Imagine propping up your tent with one of those things you get from Dollar Tree, a fun noodle. It wasn't fun. It was embarrassing. We were bored stiff. Well, I was just bored. We played Monopoly until one of the guys knocked all the pieces off the board.
That was good.
You people are awesome, I tell you. We got real testy when we played Happy Sack. Our version of tag was Pokemon. Go! I hated it. I didn't have a good poker. The other guys hated my favorite, Twister! You don't want to hear about our target practice. We appreciated it when the researchers gave us a shake break. Yep, they also gave us homework. One of the young guys says, "Doc, can we help each other out?" Well, let me look. It says it has to be hands-on. Self-service. No double headers. Do I need to explain that? Double headers. Well, that's when I learned that you don't need special expensive stuff if you go to Dollar Tree and get their hair styling gel. It's a good thing I'm not a Catholic. If I'd been a Catholic, after each session, I'd need confession. And I get a dishonorable discharge. It was hard for me to stand erect, though. I couldn't keep my eye on the ball. Make that plural. And one of the researchers accused me of being a swinger. Said I was all nuts. I couldn't even go 4 hours without falling asleep. So I had to quit the study without giving them any bona fide data. And if you get a t-shirt, you'll have something good for cleaning up after your homework. Let's see how long till sunset. It's 50. Yeah, it's
4 minutes.
The actual sunset, it's about 20 minutes. At actual sunset, the sun will be half above and half below the horizon. So,
Do you know about the green flash?
Green flash.
what's the green flash?
Anybody know that?
Is it?
Zip out, right? Is it?
When that sun hits the horizon all the way down, some people see a green flash.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen it.
We'll have to. There's to be a good day for that. Yeah.
We did see the cloud rainbows today, though.
Really?
It was, I've never seen it before.
I laughed good enough, I might see it today.
Well, has anybody here collect boxes?
Like what?
Anybody here read instructions? Whatever you get, it says save this box. So back home in Phoenix, I've got boxes for office chair, printer, scanner, mother-in-law.
That's an old box.
You want to come up? You want to come up here? Hey, you're good.
No.
I could just sit on my stool and be quiet. We'd have a good show.
So you guys go on tour.
Oh, you're in trouble.
I'm getting so many boxes I may have to move out of my house into a box, which is going to be difficult with a mother-in-law. That's not true. She's dead. I knew this group would laugh at that one. That, you know, I have to tell you, I'm dying. Well, you are too. Hopefully after me. But have you ever noticed how we try to sugarcoat death? It's gone to be with the Lord. My family's pretty sure I'm not in that department. Greener pastures, pushing daisies. I'm going to be pushing dandelions and weed. Make that plural. 72 virgins. And we also try to sugarcoat on the way to death. I mean, how many remember when we would send grandma to the old folks' home? Does not that mean yes? Okay. And then, that might make some people think they're old, which they are, and so they sent them to the senior center. Well, after about 20 years, that might offend some people, so now they have the Dare County Older Adult Center. And when you have kids, they'll send grandma to the Older Toddler Center. She'll toddle in, toddle back out. When I was a kid, we sent grandma to the corner of the cave. I don't know how I'm going to leave this world, but I know where my body's going to go. It's going to go to the University of Tennessee Body Farm. I have to take out everything that's worth anything.
The body farm?
Yeah. But nothing up here will be any good. But I have to take anything useful. I'll go to the body farm. I got a link to it on my website somewhere.
Where we work has a working relationship with the body farm in Tennessee.
Tennessee,
Okay.
question.
I want to talk to you
Get her
about
email
that
after
after
the
the
show.
show.
Okay, yeah, awesome.
And
I may see you
Should make a
again.
commission
Yeah,
on you.
you
Should
may.
make a commission on your body.
and the thing I requested is that they don't just give me a serial number, that they call me Arizona Lou. They refer to me as Arizona Lou. So
When you tour the facility, they have names.
Oh yeah. Well, I want to talk to you more about
Getting
that.
too real.
But I don't know how I'm going to leave this world. But I have all these wrinkles and splotches. I worked a long time on. I'm proud of them. They indicate. What do they indicate? Wisdom and knowledge and experience. Unless you talk to the commercial world, then it indicates spend more money. Well, like I say, I don't know how I'm going to leave this world, but when I do, I want to be going as fast as I can. Having fun. I want my obituary to read something like Arizona Lou died in an avalanche of boxes. Hey, you people are great. You were lots of fun. Thanks a lot. Give yourselves a hand.
You're awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's a great show, man.
Thank you for letting me pick on you.
Appreciate it.